Hello and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars review. This time I'm here with set 75157, Captain Rex's ATTE. It was released on the 1st of June 2016, has 972 pieces and is rated ages 9 to 14. It comes with 5 minifigs, as you will see here. They are a Stormtrooper, the 5th brother Imperial Inquisitor, Commander Gregory, Captain Rex, and Commander Wolf, looking fairly grey there, but of course we all know the story behind that. The All-Terrain Tactical Enforcer, the ATTE, manufactured by Rothana Heavy Engineering, a faction of the Giants Quat Drive Yards, was a walker used by the Clone Army, Imperial Army, and the Rebel Alliance, even though it was only really used once by the Imperial Army on recorded databases. It was heavily used then by the Clone Army, of course, and kind of restored for the Rebel Alliance against the Galactic Empire. But this one in particular was formerly used by the Clone Army, modified to all be damned by Rex, Gregor, and Wolf of the Clone Army. They used it as a mobile home, travelling the plains of Selos. The ship was fitted with beds, a kitchen, and railed walkways. Also, some improvements included hunting gear, lanterns, and cranes and ladders. This particular walker met its demise to an AT-AT walker amidst a sandstorm, crushed by it falling on the ATTE. Though the ship's destruction was not in vain, as Rex and his crew updated their quarters to an AT-AT walker and modified it using parts of their old ATTE, which is a little thing sometimes people might overlook. I've noticed that people don't realise, but a little bit of the platform they use on the AT-AT is held up by some of the legs on the ATTE, which is just a little cool bit of information there. And also, just going to point out that we haven't seen that since, and it would kind of be great if we did. Hint, hint. They've made the ATTE Rex's version. Why not make the AT-AT Rex's version, you know? But anyway, getting on to the rest of the box now. I apologise for its poor condition, but I do want to review this set. There's a few kind of lines there that shouldn't... They're not in the design. It's just literally the fact that it is kind of crushed a little bit. On the top, you will see all the figures it comes with and a 1-for-1 there, so you can see the size of the minifigures generally without opening the box. You can see pretty much the same thing as you see on every other LEGO box. The picture from the front is repeated there on the side, and again on this side actually. A little bit of small print either side, some different languages, and nothing really unusual with the bottom of the box. Now, getting on to the back of the box, we have quite a lot going on here, and to be honest, it's a very nice looking back of the box compared to some other sets, because you can see the LEGO Star Wars logo is massive here. Like, I love that. I love the big LEGO logo, the big Star Wars thing. If I didn't keep my boxes, I would rip that out and put it in some kind of, you know, collage of some sort of loads of different sized LEGO logos and put that up on a frame. Maybe put something in front. That might be a good idea for anybody who has the time to do that. But getting on to a little bit more of the description about it, we can see there that there is a kind of holographic blueprint of the ship, and I will say that it is LEGO as well. It is the LEGO version of the ship. It's not just a holographic version of the ship from the show. You can see here, download the free Force Builder app. Now, I'm not sure is that still relevant or what, but you know, that exists, or maybe not. And we can see then a lot of these boxes show a lot of different functions. I'm sure that it doesn't show the entire interior from the back, because I would assume that there's a little more, but I haven't built it or opened it yet, so I don't know. We can see the ship in full action here. And let's just get on to these ones now. You can see that it has a handle. Thank God. I love when these sets have a handle, especially the really big ones. The platform here lifts up to show a little bit of an interior, which I assume is the interior there shown beside it, with Wolf going in there with his little cup of coffee or tea or whatever. It also shows then some spinning things and some, you know, some crane maneuverability there. It also shows that the cockpit opens and the gun fires and spins at ease. So that's a great deal of stuff that we see there. It's definitely a nice kind of back of the box this time, showing a high level of, you know, actions and details and, you know, functionalities of the set, which is a really nice addition to see. I will just mention that this is a lot more active than boxes are nowadays. I don't know why they've kind of dialed it down a little bit, but nowadays all you get is the set on the back in a different position and like a couple of boxes to show that it has functionalities. You would not get this kind of stuff here or this at all, and this would not be as big. So I don't know really why they've done that, but you know, I suppose if you don't, even if you think you're the best, if you don't keep trying to be different and better, then you're just going to be stale and people are going to pass you out. So they are kind of, I suppose that is kind of one reason for them, changing things up from time to time, even if it's a bad decision and they're dropping stuff. So I suppose I've shown you everything with the back of the box now. I suppose we can get on to the review. So here we have our overview, and to be honest, this set comes with a lot. Maybe not as much as some other sets, but it definitely does come with a fair bit of playable features in the set. Of course, you can see going from left to right, we have two boxes here, cargo kind of holders. One of them is supposed to hold 2 thermal detonators, but you get a spare, so I threw that in as well. The other one then is supposed to hold a single blaster pistol, and you know, that's kind of handy enough just for playability. It kind of broadens your horizons there a little bit. Also, you get the pilot's seat, which is detachable. You can open this up and put it inside there, which is a nice little feature, because otherwise getting the figure in there would be a little bit of a pain. It's just going to be a bit kind of, fidgety. Also, then you can see it comes with the storage for 2 of the torpedoes, which are spares, and 1 for the cannon as well, which is nice to see there. It also comes with a set of white binoculars, which is nice to see here. We also have a wrench and a white mug, nothing on the mug, no print or anything. You have your 5 minifigs with their weapons in front of them here, retrospectively. And that is pretty much all you get in it, which is still a decent bit. And again, it does definitely broaden the horizons for playability on this set. But yeah, I suppose we can start off as per usual with the minifigures and get on to the build. So first up, we have the Rebels variant of the Stormtrooper. Now, this trooper, I think, is definitely my favorite Stormtrooper helmet, because it's just kind of so out there. I know that this is probably a problem for some people, how high up that goes and how kind of strange he looks, but I think the blue here is really nice. I think the mold itself, if it's in any way different, it's just a nice mold, I think. It's just these kind of stick out a little bit more, these kind of tubes on the side. We can see that it comes with 2 different printed legs, which are nice to see, because, it's good that they go that extra mile. We can see on the torso then, it can show his armor, a little bit of the belt, and a little bit of the kind of belly armor there as well. It's kind of transitioning nicely there into each other. We can see a little bit of printing on the back here as well. All the very nice details in it. Otherwise, we have seen this figure in all of the Rebels sets, and I don't really know is there much really to say about him. I am very happy with the minifigure because I just love the kind of detail on his helmet there. He comes with a single blaster rifle, a small blaster rifle, which is nice to see there. It's always good when they get weapons. It comes with the typical angry clone face. But yeah, again, I just love the detail on this figure, to be honest. I think it's very nice. I think the colours are very well done and the printing is well done. The moulding is pretty good. But, there's not an awful lot to say about a Stormtrooper. It's one of many Stormtroopers. And I suppose, yeah, we can just move on. Next up, we have the Inquisitor, the 5th brother. It's a really nice figure to see there. The main kind of thing I will mention that's really nice about this is, yeah, the headpiece, but the shoulder piece here is lovely. It's a very smooth kind of thing. It looks kind of almost kind of matte, or the matte that you would see in Lego. It's really nice there, nice and smooth and sleek. Also then, the printing on the torso and legs and belt is really nice there. It also kind of transitions into itself quite nicely there. There might be a little bit of misprinting here, but otherwise it is a nice transition from the belt into the legs. Also, he has a little bit of back printing. I will show you in more detail once I take off the shoulder piece here. There is a nice level of detail here. It's really interesting the way they've done it. They've also printed the shoulder piece onto the torso, which is kind of redundant once you put the shoulder piece on, but you know, it's nice to see them not just leaving it blank at the same time. You can see a nice level of detail on the torso as well, which is really nice to see there. The leg print in here, I will say, is very nice. The transition to the belt, from the belt to the legs, is very nice as well. We can see there that he has a quite angry face there. The print on it is done rather in detail, quite nicely. Also, the headpiece here, I think, is specific to him. I don't really think it's been used quite a lot otherwise. It's a nice piece. It kind of goes back down here, but there's not an awful lot I can say about that. What you see is what you get, really. Also, then you can see he has a back print here on the head. Kind of a just dissatisfied looking expression there, and quite an angry one then to contrast that on the front, which is nice to see. Kind of always good to see them putting on two faces. It is a really nice minifig. It's definitely not one of my favorite Inquisitors, but it's really nice minifig. Really happy with the lightsaber hilt here. It looks fantastic. It really does. That double-sided hilt there with the circle going around it is just really nice. Now, I will say he can't really hold this in too many different ways. He can hold it in kind of this orientation here, and also kind of like if you want to point it down, that's okay too. And kind of this is as close as he gets to putting his hand down by his side. But if you want to put it down by his side, you may see it kind of, you might see it there a little bit kind of pulling away from the body, which is definitely going to result in cracks from time to time. You can also make him hold it like that, but otherwise there's not really an awful lot kind of ways you can make him hold it. You can kind of get good enough range there. Also then he looks nice with it kind of thrown on the back here. It looks kind of all right there. It's just a nice way to store it, but also then you might end up losing the lightsaber blades if you do that. All in all, definitely delighted with this minifigure. It looks really well. Whatever I think about the character itself, I think the figure is really well made, and there's a nice design to it and a nice print to it. Next up, we have Commander Gregory without any of his clone armor on. Well, maybe the belt. Kind of strange compared to the other two boys who do wear a little bit of the clone armor. They wear the top halves of the clone armor, which is, you know, you can kind of take what you want from that. He comes with his nice little t-shirt. I'm assuming that it kind of looks a bit like a Mos Eisley t-shirt, but I highly doubt it because, you know, he probably hasn't gone to Mos Eisley being a clone and being somewhat kind of in hiding. He comes with a small blaster rifle, and that is pretty much it. He only has one print on his head, which is kind of, you know, again, you can take what you want from that. But otherwise, there's not an awful lot to say about this minifig. A little bit of printing on the back there, which is nice to see. Also, the printing on the front is decent, even though it's minimal. But yeah, again, not an awful lot I can say on this minifig. Definitely happy to have him here. He also has a little bit kind of a more worried clone face here. I can see a little bit of printing under the eyes there to make him look really tired and almost aged a little bit as well, which is kind of nice. It's a nice spin on the general clone face, the angry clone face. But yeah, I suppose moving on to Captain Rex, and you can see there that he's wearing a little bit of his armor that he sported in the Clone Wars. Now, this is quite interesting because, you know, it's nice to see that he's kept his old armor. You can see there that the armor he's wearing is a lot scuffed, to be honest, and you can see maybe you can see the blue lines here either side, just under the kind of chest plates there. You can see that he actually doesn't have the stomach part of the armor, which is interesting there. He just has the top and the belt. Also the arms, I suppose, as well. Definitely nice to see all that kind of scuffing on there and the aging on it. It really does kind of give an ancient kind of look to it. Also then you can see again another kind of adaptation of the angry clone face, because you can see there that they started off with the angry clone face and maybe gave him the mustache and the kind of expression he's making with his mouth there. Definitely a great minifigure. It wouldn't be as expensive as the Rex from the Clone Wars with full armor on, but it's definitely still a nice addition to the collection. Now he comes with a long blaster rifle, as you'll see here. And altogether, I do think it's a lovely minifigure and definitely a nice addition to the collection. Moving on now to Wolf, and he comes with a large blaster rifle. You can see there that the print, again, is very similar to Rex's print, just because of the mustache, but the expression is different, and also he has a little scar on his eye, which has been blinded, because you can see there the lack of a pupil means, obviously enough, he was blind in one eye, or whatever it means. You can see then that he is wearing black arms, which is very nice contrast into the clone armor, which has, again, like Rex's, been weathered because of the years that he spent wearing it since the Clone Wars and Order 66. And just a kind of close-up, you can see there that he has the kind of same colours that the kind of Wolf's squadron did have, the kind of grey there, which is a nice addition to the figure. Also then you can see a nice level of detail on the print for the back. And again, not an awful lot I can say about this minifigure. He definitely is a nice minifigure and another good addition to the set and to the collection. On now to all the small little things that comes with it. You can see here that the pilot's chair kind of comes out of the set, so you can easily put a minifigure in there like so, and then you can just slot it in. I will show you all those functions in a second once we get to the bigger set. Not an awful lot I can say about this really. It's nice that it comes with a printed tile there. The kind of mechanism is good. This little clip here is to grab it, to pull it out and in, and it works well. I'll show you it in full functionality once we get to the build. We can then see that it comes with two kind of cargo boxes, which kind of which the crane clips onto up here, and you can kind of bring it up and down. Also then you can open them up, both of them, and inside place whatever you want really, but it tells you to kind of place thermal detonators in here, in one of them, and the pistol in the other one, and they do fit well. Again, as I said earlier, you do get an extra thermal detonator, so I just put in 3 in there instead of 2. It tells you to put in 2, but you can really do what you want, Nice little addition to the set, definitely, good for playability, and just kind of adding in a little extra something there. Also here we have a kind of cargo for the two, kind of storage. Oh fucking hell, man, Jesus Christ. Also, you can see here, you kind of have a little storage thing for your torpedoes here, which is a nice little addition as well. It's good that they're not going to get lost or anything. Also, a nice little build. The look of it looks nice. It's nice and easy to build. But yeah, it's another kind of feature there added in with the set, which is always nice. So that's pretty much it for all the small sides and minifigures. Let's get on to the big build. So here we have it, the ATTE from Rebels that Rex piloted with his friends from the Clone Wars army. As I said, I'll give you a little look at the functions of it now. So first off, the first function I will show you is the cockpit opens up, and this little part, the seat, slides in and out pretty easily. You can leave it in there. It closes up nicely, no kind of pushing out. Also then you can see that a figure will fit in there with no difficulty and slots in and out as you please, which is definitely a nice little feature to have in there. The next feature I will show you is that the spring-loaded shooter works. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It works. You can use this to aim wherever you want, up straight, down low. Again, it works. You can do a full 360 if you want. And again, nice range on it because it is a spring. Other functions from just the outside is that you can swivel these in any direction you want. You can kind of put these up and down if you want. No need, but again, just nice for playability. These are supposed to be the lights that go around the ship. You can see then that you can lower or raise these, which you can kind of pretend that they're, stairs here, or you can pretend that they're just kind of there to keep everybody in place here. I don't know really what they're for. It doesn't really say. Also, you can pretend that they are for storing the catch. So you can tie the big worm onto this thing, and it'll kind of carry it to the side. which, to be honest, now that I think of it, is probably what it is supposed to represent. On to the rest of the set for functionalities. These cranes. So you clip on this here, and it holds it up, and you can, put it straight down to the bottom, and it sits on the ground there nicely. And then you can also then bring it up. And if you want some kind of nice play feature about it, you can put someone there, pretend that they're bringing it up, and then throw it up on top here if you want. Nice little function there to have with the set, definitely a welcome one. Also then you can see that the door opens up here, which is definitely a nice little feature to have. You can pretend that they're walking in. You can lift this up or down to stop people from coming up, or to help people climb up onto it, which is great. You have another crane on the side here, which works the exact same. It doesn't work any differently to the other crane. It's, it's exact same. You can put it down, you can put it up. It carries the thing nice and well. And then that's pretty much it for the 360. It doesn't have any of these guns on the back like ATTEs should do. But, it is what it is. It's kind of a broken down version of the ATTE anyway. But yeah, that's it for the sides and back. Now the next function I'm able to show you is that the walkways on the top actually do open up. You just click them off like so. Standard enough kind of bottom there. It goes on these sleeper tiles, and this is where you will put in your ammo. There is a little sleeper tile on the bottom there, which I'll also show you, that you can see there. You can clip that up then whenever you want to take it out, and you can store that back on. Now I'll just give you a look at the actual sleeper tile that it goes on. You can see there that there's a yellow kind of 1x2 sleeper tile in the middle there, and then you can just slot this down in there. And once you do that, you can pop this back on, and it doesn't like push up the walkway or anything like that. It works pretty well. Another function that I've been using the whole way throughout this video is the handle, which is a really nice addition. I will say that it's a longer handle than some of the other sets have been. Sometimes it's literally just those two kind of things coming out, or like one small little Technic rod. Now your next function, and probably my favorite function, is the interior. So you can lift off this place as well, and here's where the fun begins. You can really start to see the interior there. If you want, you can open up this door. You can see in through the set, which is nice. You can see there that the worm is printed onto a sticker, and you put that on a bit of glass just to make it look like that's kind of what they're looking for in there. You can see little clips up the top here to hold, for example, guns or something. Also your binoculars and wrench will go in there. So this is pretty much how the instructions tell you to put everything. They put the wrench and the binoculars there, and then also the cup down where that is. I have chosen just myself to put the guns where they are, because that's kind of a nice way to store them if you don't want the guys to hold them. Also, just to show you there that all of the figures do actually fit in there. Nice to see, definitely. You can also put them in, him standing facing that way, and there's a few different ways you can fit it, because there is a nice little bit of space in there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say now for the playability. A lot of functions, definitely a lot of nice functions, and I will say as well, like none of them are like really too kind of breaky. They all do work very well. Like sometimes with a crane you might have like a rope falling off or something, but because they use this piece with the rope actually just attached to the stud already, you don't get that problem. And because it doesn't have a coil or anything, you won't really get a problem with kind of winding it up or anything like that, getting stuck in anything. The gun is fantastic, like there's no kind of problems with that either. I can't really fault it for playability. There's just a lot you can do, and as I said, everything you can do works well, It's not like, for example, with General Grievous's Starfighter from 2020, you can put the lightsabers in the side of the vehicle, and that's cool, but it's hard to get them out. I can never get them out. I have to tip up the vehicle and shake it and stuff to get it out. Whereas there's not really that kind of problem with this set. I will say, if you're playing with the interior and like a gun drops or a piece drops, it's really easy to get it out because there's kind of holes in the side here towards the bottom, so you can just like tip it to the side a little bit, and you know, bits will come back out at you, which is, you know, definitely nice for playability. These lights on the side are really nice to see as well. They're kind of all around the place here. Definitely nice that they use that crystal part for a light. I really enjoyed kind of that fact, or that feature. More lights than the back here. There's just so much to do in play side. Like, there really is. With the spanner, you can go fixing anything you want. There's loads of little bits and bobs that you can pretend that your character is fixing. To be honest, one of my biggest problems with this set at the moment is there's so many ways to display it and to pose the characters around the ship. I just don't know how to actually display it. That's genuinely my biggest problem at the moment with this set. Getting straight into the display side of things, that's a problem. It's not a bad problem, it's a good problem, because, you know, you can, like, the sky is the limit. You can really do anything you want. The set, I think, looks, for what it is, it's not beautiful. It's definitely not beautiful, but, like, comparing it to Rex's actual walker, it is beautiful. Like, the colours in it are really nice. I love these kind of mad colours popping out all over the side. It really looks like a kind of renegade kind of thing. So yeah, my opinions for playability, it's fantastic. There's just so much you can do, and it's kind of endless possibilities, really. It's got a nice interior at the back. I will say I would have liked a little bit more interior towards the front, but I can understand why they didn't really have the space for that. This does kind of push into the back a little bit, and, you know, for design, I will say this is bad. They don't actually ever slot this one in place, so if you are kind of playing with it, it might just kind of be a bit finicky. Otherwise, I will say that it is a nice and sturdy set, other than that little feature there. Like, this panel doesn't really move up and down maybe, but it won't like move out of place that easy. The functions in it are just great. Like, there's loads of stuff you can do with it. As I said, one of the biggest problems I can really find with it is it's just there's so much to do with it. I'm not sure how to display it. I'm not sure how to pose the characters and all. You know, that's genuinely one of my only problems with it. While I was building it, there wasn't an awful lot of mad techniques or interesting or difficult techniques in the set at all. But it did all definitely come together very nicely. Like, each bag came together nicely, and it represents Rex's ATTE very well. I will say it's hard to fault. You know, there's some people don't like it just because the look of it, because it looks so kind of thrown together, but that's what Rex's ATTE is. It is just thrown together. It's bits of junk from other planets and, you know, anything they could get their hands on, you know, which is represented well here. You know, it genuinely just comes down to if you like the actual walker or not. Lego, I think, have done an amazing job at representing the set. Now, maybe the colour scheme is a little bit off in here, but the actual Lego set, stepping away from that a little bit, is beautiful. It's a little chubbier, like all of the Rebels kind of builds. It is a little chubbier than the Clone Wars version of the ATTE, but I kind of like that. I kind of like how it all kind of fits together nicely. The walkways here are very nice. The lanterns, again, it's just a very nice set. I can't really fault it. So that is pretty much all I can say about this set. I think it's hard to fault. Easy enough build. It did take me a while, but that's because I split it up into 4 bags for one day and 4 bags for another day. If you wanted to build it all in one day, it probably wouldn't take you an awful long time. Again, I think the play features are great because the amount of stuff it comes with is just really opens up the horizons there for playability. The display purposes of it are fantastic because, again, I had a problem of finding which way was best because there was just so many ways to display them. The design is just perfect, I think. The color scheme on it is great. There's just, I can't, again, I'm finding it really hard to find a flaw with it. Thanks a million for watching my video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you think there's anything that needs to be said. Also, if you want to see a few more kind of display, kind of options for this set. I will be putting up a few pictures on Instagram because there's just so many. I actually took a little photo op with it, so I'll be doing that soon enough. But yeah, thanks a million, guys. See you again. Take care.